Hey guys, welcome back to the Live Out Love podcast. Today I'm really excited for this week's episode. I'm here with the League sisters, Abby and Emma. And I was just talking to them about how I start the episodes. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about how I know them and my point of view. So Emma was my Young Life leader. I moved to South Carolina my senior year of high school, and she was in Young Life and was probably my favorite leader. She was so cool. I remember like the first time I met you, you just were really good at just like getting to know the newer girls.
Thank you.
And I just felt like really special and like that you got me. We're very similar in that
I
way.
agree.
And sometimes Young Life can be very niche. So that was like really sweet. And I remember you had I think you had a Mercedes at the time, was it? And I was like, she's so cool. And you're like, Mercedes. You were just, every time we would like go to club too, you'd always have the cutest outfits. I just looked up to you. I still do.
That's so sweet.
And then Abby's her younger sister, and Abby is really cool too. So when Emma was the Young Life leader, she was in college at the time, and so I got into Clemson. And I remember, Abby, you just like were really sweet about helping like with Rush and different things about Clemson. And then I worked in Creative Solutions, where Abby did work in for a little bit at Clemson.
For like 2 or 3 years, I think.
Which is insane. And so then we just got talking about that, which is just so sweet that I get to have a conversation with y'all. But I want to hear about you guys and your point of view.
Yes, so when we were talking about earlier how you introduce people, I couldn't remember how you remembered meeting me, but I remember the first words you said to me, and we were having, I think club was Country versus Country Club.
Oh, yes.
Or something,
yeah.
and I had on camo overalls, but I had my sparkly Golden Goose sneakers on, and you came up to me and you said, "I love your shoes," and I said, "Thank you," and I was like, "I like her," and then literally I remember that was the first conversation that we had.
That's so funny.
I agree, like immediately I could tell that you were just different, and Young Life can be very niche, and not that I feel like I didn't fit in, but I felt like I was a bit of a different Young Life leader because I wasn't going to be like all the other ones. I was still going to be me.
Right.
And so when I like meet people who are also like me, I was like, I think we could bond. Like, that's good. Even though I could talk to a brick wall. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. I'll talk to you and get to know you and be friends with you. But I just knew that, like, we clicked, I feel like.
Yeah.
So,
Which is really sweet.
Yeah, I remember meeting you that day at our house too, and I feel like you were just very pure. Like you can tell your intentions are just so true. So when you were going into our sermon, like, let me give you the lay down and just try to be as open and honest as I could, so that way you could have your best experience too. And so it's fun that you went to Clemson too, and then got to do all the things.
It's crazy. Time flies.
It does.
Well, I want to hear about just y'all's like childhood, growing up, and where you are now. If you guys want to share that too.
yeah. We had a great childhood, I would say.
We realized, I think, in our older years how blessed we were for our family, and like we wouldn't trade them for the world. Like they were just so amazing. We have one older sister, one younger brother, and 2 amazing parents.
And y'all are the middles.
Okay. Yes. We're 2 years apart.
Yes, 2 years, 3 grades. We always struggle with that because we're like, wait, how much apart are we?
Right.
But it's 2 years in age, 3 grades in school.
Yeah.
So when I was a senior, Abby was a freshman.
Okay.
And then our older sister, Reagan, and I are only 11 and a half months apart.
Oh, wow.
So we're Irish twins. We're
That's
the
so
same
cool.
age for 2 weeks every year. And so when she got married in March, she was 26 and I was 26.
So
While
funny.
she got married, I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
But our younger brother just turned 22 last month.
And he's a year and a half younger than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all very close.
That's a perfect age.
We were
for
4
all,
under 5 years old.
We
Which
were-
I don't know how my mom did it, or dad.
Yeah,
Like,
we were all in elementary school at the same time. And it was kindergarten, 1st grade, 4th grade, 5th grade.
Wow.
And right?
I'm pretty
I think
positive.
so.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how they did it, but we had so much fun. We always grew up here
Yeah.
in Travelers Rest in the Greenville area, and have loved it. We've all gone off to college and come back here, and it just feels like home.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I love too, like how just close you are with your family. I just see from social media and getting to talk to y'all. It's very special, like to have that bond still at this age.
We
too.
agree, and we realized, like, growing up as we got to know our parents more,
Yes.
and like how they grew up completely different than the life that they gave us. I'm not going to say that they had horrible situations because they both had like a good upbringing,
Right.
but it just wasn't ideal. It was broken homes and things like that, and honestly they like decided that they were going to create what they didn't have, which means so much to us because as close as we are, neither one of them are close with their siblings. Well, my dad's close. He has half brothers, so he's very close with them. But he was not very close with his other brother, and then my mom is not close with her brothers at all. And it honestly, I remember one time, like, I think one of us said, "I love you" to the other, and she was like, "You guys say that you love each other?" And we were like, "Yeah, we love each other."
That's
and
so
we've just always been grateful that they created what they didn't have. And I mean, it has set me up for how I want to raise a family one day, and
but also I feel like
it
gives hope to people who didn't grow up and come from great homes.
Yes,
because you can create that. Like, you don't have to repeat the cycle.
Yes,
so it's just really special that.
Yeah. It means a lot to me that they made the effort and made that a priority in our lives for us to be friends. Like,
that's incredible.
Because a lot of people aren't friends with their siblings, and that's fine. That breaks my heart for them, but I'm very grateful for mine. So
really, wow, that's awesome. And then you said you and your sister were Irish twins. So were you guys close growing up? I want to hear the dynamic between y'all and then your other siblings.
Okay, so me and Reagan, she's older. She was born in April of 1998.
Okay.
I was born in March of 1999.
Oh my gosh.
So she's April 12th. I'm March 25th.
Wow.
And we basically were raised as twins.
That's so cute.
I mean, we had all of our birthday parties together. We wore the same clothes, just a different color. There's not anything that she did that I wasn't going to do too. So and I said this when I gave the speech at her wedding. I was like, "You've never lived a year on this earth without me," because I came in before a year was up, and so we were raised as twins, basically. Like,
wow, yeah.
We did everything together. We were very close in age. Given we fought a lot, but it was like every milestone we were hitting at the same time or like just after one another. And it's actually funny you ask about that, because being raised, it could have been different. Because we went to church, we go to Berea First Baptist, and we've gone to the same church our whole life. And our church has always had a great children's ministry. And when it was time for us to start going to like Sunday school and things like that, my mom showed up and she wanted me and Reagan to go in the same classroom. Because, like I said, we did everything together.
Yeah.
And her name's Miss Julie. She's our babysitter's mom, and she's still like so important to us to this day. We love her so much. She would not let my mom let us go in the same class. She said, "No, they're not the same age. They're not going in the same classroom." And I think my mom was a Karen about it, honestly.
That's hilarious.
She was like, "No, like, I want them to stay together." And Miss Julie was like, "No, she's this age. She's this age." I think it was like she goes in the 4s, she goes in the 3s. Yeah. They're not staying together. And my mom said that's like the best thing that could have ever happened is like splitting us up, because I think I would be a completely different person had I never been separate.
Right.
And given a chance to like become my own person too. And so I'm thankful for that. Even though I don't remember it, I'm like, I know that definitely changed the trajectory of my life completely. And for us to just be seen as separate, like, even though I love her and I love being associated with her, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because we're not twins.
Yeah.
Even though we're
so close.
Almost
Irish twins.
Yeah, we're not. And so I just like thinking about that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we were raised very close like
That's
twins.
really sweet.
But then Abby came along.
Yes.
As growing up with 2 older sisters, it's been so nice. Like, I feel like I would always, like, at certain ages, would like want to hang out with them. I'm like, "Oh no, we're too cool for you." Like, everyone goes through those phases. But when that would happen, we always joke nowadays that I had to be Sean David's brother. Like, he didn't have one.
Funny.
So like, I played video games with him. I played trucks with him on his like road map carpet, and like all of the little like boy things. Like, we just say I was his brother for a certain amount of time, which is so funny. But I feel like we've all gone through phases where we're not as close, or there's one of us that's a little close and separately. But I honestly feel like this past year we've all hit not necessarily a mature stage, but we finally realized, like, oh my gosh, like, we all love each other. Like, we're all just getting along.
Like, these are our people.
Right,
yeah,
right.
It doesn't really get any better than this. And so
we're just so, I feel
we're
like
all close now.
Sweet.
But in high school, Emma, senior year, my freshman year, broke her arm, couldn't move her hand. So like, I had to help her.
It was called a palsy. I was like paralyzed from here down for 3 months. Yeah.
Emma.
And they were like, "It might not come back." And I was like, "Okay."
How did you do it?
Cheerleading. I was doing a back handspring. So, but Abby became
I
a little
took care of
caretaker.
Is this the story?
Yes.
You're talking about? Okay.
I took care of her for those 3 months. Like, I had to wake up early, do her hair every morning, even though sometimes it would turn into her throwing a hairbrush at my back because I was over it.
That's so
She was burning my hair with the straightener.
So we got close then because we did spend, like, I had to ride to school with her.
Right,
And
we
things like
cheered
that.
together.
Yeah,
And
like, we just spent all of our time
Right.
together. And I remember even in middle school, I wanted to hang out with her friends too and just be older. I feel like my crowd has always been with the older people simply because I have 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
But
well, like, and our friend group always meshed. It was like
somehow connected.
it was like all across all 4 grades in high school.
Yeah.
Was who we hung out with.
I just think that makes it so fun.
Oh yeah,
Especially in high
it
school,
does.
too.
It does. And I think that's why you were like mature beyond your years because you were
Yeah.
constantly hanging out with older people. But it's like I never hung out with Reagan's group of friends.
Right.
Well, like when I in middle school and stuff, I wanted to. It was like we were like we would do whatever if we get to hang out with you and your friends, and we would be their
That's so
servants and do anything and go hang out with them. But they weren't like in our friend group. Like our friend groups were like together.
And also Reagan's had a fantastic like group of friends, girls.
Yes.
Like, they just had such a good group, and Sean David had such a group,
That's
like
awesome.
great group of friends.
Yeah.
I
And,
feel
like, it
we
skipped
had
ours.
we had good friends and great friends, but nothing.
But not like a group like
they're
they
huge
had.
group.
Yeah.
So like I felt like ours combined made that like a group for us.
Yeah. But talking about how we're all 4 close
Yes.
now, when Reagan went to college, so her freshman year in college, which was my senior year, Abby's freshman year, when we got super close, that was really hard on Reagan when she would come back home because she wasn't around. She was at Clemson.
Right.
So, and we had all this, we did not do anything apart. We did
That's
everything
really
together.
cute, though.
Literally everything. Every minute we spent together, and we enjoyed every second of it. And so that was hard to navigate when she would come back home or come back home in the summer or when we would go on a family trip. And like the 2 of us were just kind of like attached at the hip, and we didn't do it on purpose.
No.
It was never purposely trying to leave her out, but it was just like, you haven't been here. Like,
Right.
these are the things we like to do. And so I'm so grateful that we're past that. At
Me too.
this
I feel
point,
like
that was
we've both
hard
grown a
for all
ton.
of us. The arguments that caused, and it was just
It was so
stressful.
valid.
It was so valid because we just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Maturity is a huge part of it too. Like once you learn that like your sisters aren't the ones who are going to be against you
Right.
in your life, and then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I was being a little dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then y'all are more creative in your family.
Mhm.
Can we hear just about why you like grew up creative, how you've done type things like that?
Why? We don't know.
Just-
I guess our mom. Our
Yeah.
mom
Is
is
she
so
really
creative.
creative? Okay.
Yes, like
Crafty gal.
Scrapbooked our whole
Really?
life when we were. She's a stay-at-home mom
Okay.
most of our lives, and then she went back to teaching. When she was a stay-at-home mom, she had her own curtain business, so she made like window treatments,
So
and
cool.
she embroidered stuff. She could sew. She could do
Do anything.
anything.
Mhm.
Literally anything. And so I think we had a craft room at our house growing up. So we
So fun.
Yeah.
were
Oh my
always
gosh.
in there getting
It's
into
amazing.
mischief and
Yeah.
making messes and figuring out what we could make.
And you always had a camera in your hand.
Yes, I always did have a camera.
So you've had that.
I
young
like since I was
age.
little,
Okay.
I had like a little disposable. Like I always wanted a camera. So I think it's cool to look back and
Yeah.
like see how long ago that God planted like that seed of like what we're doing now.
Mhm.
Because like you too with painting and stuff, like
Right.
you always loved art and
Yeah.
painting, and she's so good at that and
Yeah.
just being creative.
Freshman year, I had a huge painting of
I remember
yours
that.
at my door.
It's so funny. I still have like art supplies in my new office in my house now, and I'm like, it's one of my little creative outlets that I feel like I always just draw myself back to sometimes. But that is how I got started creatively, is starting to draw and paint with my grandma, and then went off to Fine Arts Center in
Wow.
Greenville. And I think that taught me to broaden my horizons, because they wouldn't let you take what you got in for. So like I got in for drawing and painting, but I had to take ceramics, metals,
Wow, that's
photography.
really
Yeah, it was
cool.
really neat. So like I got to try all these different things, and then when I got to Clemson, I got introduced to video
Right.
and just kept it going from there.
Wow. And then, so for listeners who don't really know Abby and Emma, so Abby, you do more of the video stuff for
Yes.
like weddings and different things, and Emma, you're a photographer.
Yes.
And then Abby, you obviously are a painter, very creative in that way. And I've seen TikToks of you like creating like different things, sewing things, stuff like that. Are
Uh-huh.
you more creative that way, or can you paint too?
I can
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay.
It takes me a little longer. It doesn't come naturally, but for some reason I can do it if I try. Like I'll I'm more of a tracer. Like, you can just freehand. I would need to trace something and then I could paint it. But I can sew. Like, my mom, I can embroider and sew. And I've made clothes and curtains and things like that. So I feel like my brain is just wired.
Which our brains are wired. Raised on we're going to figure out how to do it ourselves mentality.
Yes.
And no matter what, like, even our home projects, give us the nail gun. We're going to figure it out.
That's incredible. Like,
we get that from our mom, like, honest, so.
That's so cool. I aspire to have that creativity. Like, I can do musical stuff, but
really?
I can't draw.
Wait, you can sing. I forgot about that.
Or something like that. But I cannot draw.
Well, I wish I could sing.
I wish I could
play an instrument. So, like,
it's so funny.
We can teach each other.
And, like, our older sister is creative, too.
She just doesn't tap into it.
She just doesn't tap into it. Like,
Okay.
our whole lives, she was good at everything. Like, whatever, I would just copy her. Like, whatever she did, I would copy her. And honestly, still to this day, I'm kind of more of the type B person in our family, and we would go to the same nail girl, and when I would show up, I would say, what color did Reagan get? Just do that color. I just trusted that she got a cute color, and I would say, just do whatever Reagan did. And it got to the point where they would be like, you want what your sister got? And I was like, yes, duh. Like, I don't need to look through colors. Like, but she just always was good at everything, made the best choices, and could always have the best handwriting. Always just had the best.
Still jealous of that.
Still has the best handwriting. Like, she's so creative too, but she, in her career, is so, like, she's in sales and, like, she's so good at it and is
very driven.
Very driven. Very. And great in school too with grades. Like, she is a straight A girl.
Right.
Like, I don't think she got her first B into a college. Right. Actually.
I don't think so either. And it was in accounting or something, which was
really hard.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so she's very, like, I've always admired that about her, is her drive and ability to just go so far. Like, she's really, really talented in that aspect of her life, too.
Wow. Yeah. I love hearing all about the special gifts that the Lord gives us. And they're all so different, which just makes it so exciting, too. So you both went to Clemson, and then I guess were you graduated when you were a freshman?
I was a senior.
You're a senior, so same thing.
Yeah.
Will you guys tell me a little bit about your guys' experiences at Clemson?
Yeah. So I actually went to Anderson my freshman year, and I hated it. My mom went to Anderson, and I got Bridge at Clemson.
Right.
And when I got Bridge, it wasn't cool to do Bridge yet. Like, it was not a thing to do Bridge, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going somewhere else, and then I'll try and transfer in. Looking back, I should have just Bridged, because it's great. It's, if you want to go to Clemson, Bridge.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, no one does that. It's not cool, so I'm not doing it. And which is why I love that it's so popular now. But I ended up not liking it at Anderson. I look back and think, could I have tried to enjoy it more? I could have, but I think I had it in my mind that I was going to go to Clemson eventually regardless, so I didn't need to be present where I was, which I hate that. I hate that I did that. I could have made so much more of it. But then I transferred in to Clemson my sophomore year, and truly, I was not a big college girl at heart. School has never been my thing.
Me too.
It's always been just a lot harder being like ADHD. Like, it takes me a little bit longer to understand a concept, and so school's never been my thing. Social part, yes, great. I love being social, but still, like we were talking about, we went on a walk earlier, just kind of talking through these questions, and we were like, well, what are we gonna say? And I was like, like, I just wasn't a big college girl. Like, I enjoyed it, but I did not hesitate to go home on the weekend because I wanted to be with my family and be with my sister and things like that. And so my experience at Clemson was great, but when we were there together was COVID.
Oh.
So my junior year, spring break, is when we went to spring break, and then no one went back to school after that.
Wow.
So 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
March
your freshman
2020.
year.
Yeah. So your senior year of high school.
Senior year.
Still in high school.
Okay.
And so that's when we didn't really know what school was going to look like your freshman year and my senior year. And I think did you do all online? Was it all online still, or did they let you go back? Because
actually,
I think I had the choice.
I think I had one class in person out of all of them.
I think I had the choice to be all online, and I chose all online, even though I still lived in Clemson. So, but that was a very odd year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I started during COVID. We waited to go back until I think after September, just because of COVID, and then started so many restrictions. Like, I could be with my roommate in my room, but if I went to the dining hall, we had to sit separate. And it was like, they secluded you so bad. Like, I moved home second semester. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I think I didn't have a great college experience until, like, junior year, truly. Right. Sophomore year, we're still in that mix of everything. Yeah. I did rush and get a sorority, so I did meet some girls and finally was getting a little bit of college.
Could you rush as a freshman?
I could have.
Okay.
It was just COVID.
Like, so it was videos?
Yeah, and I just decided if I'm not going to get the full experience, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And so sophomore year, and I wasn't getting that experience. Freshman year, I was like, let's do it sophomore year. And I did, and then met some friends, and that was getting better. And I think also my roommates helped it change junior year. I was living with 2 girls I grew up with, and then they were freshman roommate, and I did have a much better experience, but I agree, college just was like, it's not my thing. Like, I think I had such a high expectation for it that I was let down by it, but Clemson was great, amazing school and amazing people, but it also just depended on, like, I had one amazing teacher who I was like, gosh, if everyone was like her, this would have been a game changer. So I think I missed that from high school, is going to such a small school. Even though Clemson's still kind of small, I missed that, like, personal connection with everybody.
Right. Yeah.
No, those are very well answers. Because I really relate to that. Because I feel like a lot of people, which I'm not, like, if you're listening to this and you're like this, like, that's amazing that you feel like that. But, like, sometimes, like, it's like how people are like, they peaked in high school and high school's their life, and then you go to college and college is your life, but you're like, then what's next?
Right.
And it's like, if you're always looking for the next thing, like, it's okay to not want to enjoy something that you're in right now. Or know that there's better things.
And it's just like knowing there's more. I feel like I always knew, like, this can't be it.
Like, this can't be where you peak.
Right. Yeah. And so just knowing that there was more, and I think about how I am such a homebody, but, like, going home in college, it's like I had 2 younger siblings that were there for every sporting event moment of my life growing up, and it was important to me to be there for them too. And so, like, I enjoyed going home and spending the weekend at home with my family and getting to go to their events and stuff. Like, I think my roommates were always like, man, she goes home a lot. But I was like, I don't care. I like going home. I feel better at home. I feel more myself at home, and that's just how I was.
Yeah, so. I agree. And even when you go home, like, you finally get hit with all the tiredness, and you're like, oh, wait, I actually can rest here. Like, even in my own house, like, back at Clemson, I'm like, when I come home, like, oh, wait, it's so different here. Yeah. I saw this thing, too, which, I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok, but it's, like, girls, like, when they post at age 30 now, rather than at 20 or in college, and they, like, total glow up. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, college, like, there's so much more from here. So much more. Yeah, so
we love post-grad. And though reality does hit us
post-grad has been so fun.
Yeah, it, like, everyone's like, would you go back? And I'm like, you could maybe. Sorry, so awesome, but no. Like, I enjoy just getting to be myself and, like, grow up.
I enjoy not having school.
I know, like, being your own schedule, your own routine of things.
Yes. Yeah. Doing your own thing is so fun.
Right, yeah. I want to hear how y'all started working together, and if you could you explain now how you, like, both started your own things and then put it together?
Yeah. You say how you started your own, and I'll say how we got it together.
Okay. Okay. So, I said earlier, I always had, like, a camera in my hand, and when I was 13, I got my first real camera. I think it was a Canon Rebel, like, just a little Canon Rebel, and it was for my birthday, but I had to pay for half of it. So, it was, like, so worth it to me, but looking back, it's funny that I had to pay for half of it. But so I got my first real camera, and we hit the ground running. Like, Abby has been my model. I feel like we need to pull up pictures and you can post my old pictures.
The middle of our street growing up,
just our road. Yeah, like, I would have her in the middle of the road, laying down like this.
The fall.
I would put you in a tree.
Oh yeah,
I put you in a John Deere T-shirt one time with some
all
boots.
The genres. Yes,
we've done everything, and I was so terrible at
you were not bad.
I wasn't good by any means.
You were 13.
Yeah,
so
but
did you just, like, click, that's it? Or
yeah,
did you
no
learn how to do
settings. No.
Okay.
It was just auto.
And no editing,
auto.
right?
No, well, I did a little bit of Picnic or something.
That's so
do you even know what Picnic is?
No.
Okay, it's this little app where you could, like, write words on. We used to do it so much.
We went crazy with it.
On our profile pictures for Facebook.
Wait, could you,
stuff.
like, edit the background to do, like, different, like, designs?
Yes, and, like, you could. It had the cutest font. I'll have to look it up and show you because it's so niche. Like,
so
Picnic, but I would do that or something. And so that was kind of where I started, like, really taking pictures. But then I didn't, like, do anything with it. I was just always a girl who had a camera. It's like, oh, Emma, bring your camera. Can we use your camera?
Did you do, like, high school, like, sports or anything?
No, literally nothing.
Okay.
And, like, I remember my aunt owned a store in TR, and she, like, we would used to ask her, we would say, can we borrow some clothes and we'll model them and take pictures for you? And so I did things like that.
Funny.
And I would do that, and then we would bring my camera to, like, homecoming or prom and take pictures with it and stuff like that, but I never did anything with it. And it was when I was a junior in college, first semester, junior year, that's when you kind of have to think about, like, what am I going to do?
Right.
Because, like, do I need to be getting an internship? Do I need to start talking to companies?
Right.
What do I do? Because, I'm about to be in the real world. And I was just like, this does not sound fun. My older sister always had an internship in the summer. Like, every summer of college, she worked for some, like, doing sales or something like that. She was, like, furthering her career. But every summer for me, I was like, working?
Job.
No.
So
I'm going to
funny.
go to the pool every summer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go to the pool every day. I'm going to go to the beach. I babysat and I did all the things, and I waitressed and stuff like that. So I was making money, but I was not about to sit at a desk in my summers. Like, I only get to be a kid for so long.
Yeah.
And so that's when we were different. And we're over it now, but it really bothered my sister that
we weren't doing
that. We didn't do
yeah.
that. So here I am, a junior. I'm like, what am I going to do when I graduate? And one time I came home from school, and my whole family was having a powwow upstairs in my sister's room, and Reagan was just crying, and she was like, I have worked so hard my whole life and have gotten straight A's, and you guys cheer for Emma when she gets a B or a C or something. And it's like, we're two complete different people, and that's when, like, I didn't realize how much she cared that I didn't do the same thing as her. But she was, like, mad that I wasn't going and getting a job in the summer. And I was like, listen, we choose to live our lives in different ways. If you want a job, go get a job. But I'm going to enjoy my life in my summer. And that's always been my mindset. And I knew then that I was not made for, like, a desk job. And my dad was, like, sitting there trying to, bring her back to earth. And everyone knows I want to be a mom one day. Like, I cannot wait to be a mom one day. And my dad said to my sister, he said, because she already knew she was moving to Austin to accept her sales job right when she graduated college. And he said, like, if you go out to Austin and you work hard and you love your job and you do a good job, like, we're proud of you. And then he said, but if Emma grows up, she graduates, she gets married and has a baby and she's a good mom, like, we're proud of her too. And so it was hearing my parents say out loud, like, wait, they don't expect us to do the same thing.
Right.
And so, like, back to being a kid, it's like I always did what Reagan did. And so that's when I started, like, finding my own way. I was like, I cannot do that. I'm not doing that. But to know that they supported me in not doing that was, like, what made me realize I wanted to go for it. And they were like, you love photography. Like, why don't you just try it? Like, it was actually my parents that said that to me.
Wow.
And that was probably, like, in November. So it was that Christmas I asked for, like, the real deal camera. Had to pay for half of it. Because it was, like, over my Christmas budget. And I got my camera, and I full force was like, this is what I want to do.
We had more photo shoots.
Literally the day
she got
Christmas
it.
Day,
Really?
we went downtown Greenville to a parking garage.
Yeah, we upgraded from street to parking garages.
And it was all auto settings.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, auto settings. I had no idea about manual, anything.
They still
Still slayed. Yeah,
I
they
didn't
did.
see these actually.
But
I'll pull them up.
they're on my Facebook. I'll pull them up. But I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And having my parents' support meant the world to me. And so that's, like, how I started my business.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's really cool. And then you said you started with doing, like, senior reps.
Well, originally I was looking on Instagram for photographers. And I was like, I'm going to reach out to a bunch of photographers and just see if anyone needs, like, a second shooter or needs help.
Oh, that's smart.
And the lady I reached out to, it had to happen. She was hard to work for. But she had working for her at the time. I say working, I should say volunteering for her at the time because she did not pay.
Oh, wow.
Was graduating or going somewhere, moving away, so she needed, like, a new little person to train. And I was like, I'll do it. And she took me in. She taught me manual settings,
That's so
how to
cool.
use my camera, literally everything about the camera. Like, she taught me, and I would second shoot for her at weddings and stuff.
Wow.
And that's how I knew, like, what I was doing with my camera. But it ended up that I could not work for her any longer. It was just not what I needed to be doing. And I had seen this girl, I followed her from Texas. She did this senior rep program, and I was like, that looks kind of cool, and like, I feel like I could do that. And so that's what I started. I just put out an application, and I was like, I'm going to get girls to model for me, and then they can post the photos and tag me, and then other
So
people will
smart.
hear about me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did to
Wow.
really get my business like
Right.
up and off the ground running.
And now
So-
you're like thriving.
Yeah.
Your pictures are incredible.
Thank
like
you.
you're gonna be my wedding photographer.
Thank you. Oh, I would love to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's hear about you.
I remember being always into video, like high school. There's like vlogging style. Like I just love capturing what's going on, and so I would make like a Young Life video of like our camp, and I made some for like the boys basketball team. And I remember like begging my dad for a drone in high school.
Yeah.
He got this like in terrible, crappy one.
That's
like it was
so
so
funny.
blurry.
We say she had to take out a loan from our dad
That's
to get the drone.
hilarious.
She always said, "I'll pay you back."
Never
Never paid her back.
Which
That's
is just
so
so funny. So like I did that stuff in high school,
Yeah.
but then kind of like let it go, and I still like vlogged and stuff. I guess
So-
I had TikTok as my outlet
Yeah.
then instead of vlogging.
I watched your YouTube videos too.
Oh, all
You're, like
of them?
freshman year. I remember you sent me like, this is what your dorm will look like freshman year. That was my favorite one.
No, I feel like I should have made more in college, which
Yeah.
I genuinely have them not edited. I have all footage from like
That's so-
4 different ones
wow.
that I never actually did anything with. Just sometimes the editing part just gets, I
Right.
just can't do it. But then I think it was my sophomore year of college. I was sitting in class, keep in mind a business class, and a guy named Kyle came and talked, and he had been working for the football team,
Yeah.
showed us his videos, and I was like, this is really cool. And he said, if you would ever be interested, like, he put his email up, and I was like,
That's
write that
so
down.
cool.
So I messaged him, and it was right before spring break, and he let me come in and like have an interview with
Yeah.
him, and he was like, if you want to come on and basically like volunteer this semester, we'll see how things go. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew nothing. He was like, what camera do you shoot on? I was like, oh, my little Canon. Like, not
That's
this big. Like,
hilarious.
that's it. And so I did that for the first semester, and then junior year, I started the ball rolling and
Wow.
just did my internship. They taught me everything I know, like all the settings, editing, literally everything. I have so many cool experiences. I got experience because of that creative internship, and I went from volleyball, softball, women's basketball, and ended up doing
Being
football.
on the field.
Yeah,
I remember
so
seeing you on
it
there.
was
Yeah.
so cool, especially growing up. Like no one else working student wise or even like full timer wise was a Clemson fan growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, y'all don't understand. Like
That's
this
a
is
big
so
deal.
cool to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the field. Like this is
Yeah.
just so awesome. Which ultimately led me like what an amazing experience. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do forever.
Okay.
Sports is amazing. And it was a hard place because I could see how others were thriving in it, and I was like, I can't edit like that. Like,
Right.
am I failing? And it was like, it clearly just wasn't my
Yeah.
path. And so whenever I graduated, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I did get an offer to work in sports,
Oh, really?
but I was praying about it, and I was like, I'm not sure if this is it. And then I was gonna go the business route, and also prayed about it. Said yes to it, and then God shut that door too. And I was like, whoa, maybe I am supposed to be doing video.
Yeah.
And Emma doing her own thing gave me the courage to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so I would shoot some weddings for free. I would just come with her and shoot them. And like, she even took me to a destination wedding. I shot it for free, like just video wise, just to get
You
experience.
did it for free?
Oh, yes.
Did you post this?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause those were really good. Oh my god.
Thank you. And I was just learning as I go because I didn't know too much in the wedding world, but I started doing more and more with her. Her friends, one of her friends hired me actually for my first
Wow.
wedding, which
Oh,
was
Sydney?
Yeah.
That was your first wedding?
Like official,
Yeah.
I would say. So that was a lot of fun. And then
Wow.
it's been a few years, and I met Hallie, who is my mentor, and she's actually
cool.
shooting my wedding coming up.
Okay.
And she was such an open book and a blessing in my life when I was like, maybe this really isn't what I always question sometimes, is this what I'm supposed to be
Right.
doing? I feel like it's just the world getting in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
It's
And
being human.
yeah, it's
Like,
human.
Yeah.
But she gave me such encouragement, and she was like, oh my gosh, no, like your feelings are valid in this, and you should be doing this. And even in the business model stuff, like your payments and all the things, she was just such an open book, and like I could never repay her for what all she gave to
Yeah.
me in my business. So like I hope for anyone else being creative and wanting questions, like I could just like pass
Yeah.
that along too, because I've learned so much from them.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so huge. And so when I say I started out working for this one
Right,
lady,
yeah.
I don't want to say her name because like we're not in contact anymore, and she taught me so much. But she had me questioning like, man, is this what I want
Right,
to do?
yeah.
Even though I learned so much. And then it was my mentor, Maddie,
Mhm.
who's a photographer. She just randomly reached out to me, so our moms were like in each other's weddings. They were friends in high
That's
school, so
really
like that's how we knew
Yeah.
who each other was. And we were good friends with her cousin
Okay.
throughout high school because she went to high school with us. But so we followed each other on Instagram. I knew she was a photographer, but then I guess she was looking for new second shooters, and she reached out to me. And when she was like, "Do you want to go like get coffee or something?" And I was like, "Sure." So we went downtown Greenville to the Starbucks and sat in Falls Park. And she was like, "You should stop working for her and come work for me." And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
"Do you think I should?" And she was like, "Yes, do
That's-
it." And she was such an open book with me.
To show you.
Like,
Yeah.
I knew that she wanted me to be better and wanted me to succeed, and she just told me every single detail
Mhm.
that there was to be told. She answered every question I had, encouraged me so much. Her, like, walk with the Lord is so inspiring to me. Like, she's such a believer, and I just can only hope that, like, I have as close of
Yeah.
a relationship with him as she does one day. And she is still one of my greatest friends to this day. But that's what changed it all for me. And so we like to think, like, my Maddie is Abby's Hallie.
Yeah.
And
cute.
that makes us, like, our biggest advice for, like, doing your own thing is, or why we are the way we are, is if someone comes to me and is like, "I want to get into photography," I'm like, "Okay, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
I'll teach you. I'll teach you manual. I'll do this. Like, you can come shadow. You can come second shoot for me. Like, I'll teach you everything I know." And I think it's because, like, there's enough room at the table.
Right.
Like, everyone can have a seat at the table. You don't have to fear that, like, something's going to be taken away from you if 1,000 people get into it. It's like, I know this is what God wants you to be doing. Like, He's going to put clients in front of you. He gave you this gift. Why not share it and help it grow? Like,
That's very encouraging.
and that's what I learned from Maddie. It's like the way she was to me is why I am the way I am now in my business.
Wow. No,
Everything
that's
was
really
based
cool.
after what she did and what she taught me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this like, do you have any other advice, like adding on to like, I know a lot of people now, like you both went through the college cycle of like people go and work in finance or do a sit down job, and you both were like, I don't really want to do that. I feel like there's a lot of struggle maybe with like their families, parents, like talking to students that like, no, you need to like get an
Yes.
actual job.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
for me, like, I don't know what I'm doing the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And like my mom's like, you need to figure that out. And I'm like, but what if like I want to do something that I'm passionate about, but like how do you kind of like work with that, but also like obviously you're on your own now, like
Yes.
you have to be financially smart.
Yes.
So any advice for that?
Well, we talked about this earlier too. Starting out, the first thing I have to say is I'm so grateful for my parents.
Yeah.
And how supportive they are of us and everything we've ever done. They are like our biggest fans.
It's awesome.
But
To this day, our mom, when we leave for a wedding, she goes,
do a good job, and we're like, it's so funny. And so they are just so supportive, and that has made like a complete difference
Okay.
for us in starting our own businesses.
Right.
But we said you have to be prepared for people,
not to degrade you,
because I don't
to
think
look
they
down
mean
on
it.
you.
I don't think people
No.
mean to be rude or mean it like
Right.
the way we might take it.
But,
But,
like-
it's like you need to get a real job.
Yeah, like I got asked
Or-
yesterday, so
When do you get a real job?
And
Seriously?
I'm like, yeah, like I see you do that video stuff, but like, what do you really do?
Oh my
And,
and I'm
it's
like,
I have a job.
yeah,
and
They don't get it.
And someone's
No,
like, "Oh, is
yeah.
this just your little hobby?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
this is
Wow.
my job." And you have to be prepared to not
Right.
care what other people think.
right,
Right.
and trust God in all of it.
Oh, that's the biggest thing,
It's
is
good
trusting
advice.
God. And another thing is we're like, live at home.
Mm-hmm.
If your parents allow you
Let
to
you
come live at
live
home,
at home.
live at home, save your money.
Right. They can buy your food.
Yes, literally. It's not like
No, we
it's
get
not
it.
failing to
Right.
graduate college and move back
No,
in with
that's
your
really
friends.
good
It's a
advice.
blessing
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
graduate college and have parents that let you move back
Want
in.
you to
Because
live there,
we
yeah.
realized like so many people aren't allowed to do that.
Right.
Like their parents are like, "Nope, you're done. You're
Figure
cut
it
off."
out,
And I'm
yeah.
like, that
And
breaks my heart.
take
Like
car payments,
thank
everything away,
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah, thank goodness that I had parents that allowed
Mm-hmm.
me to be comfortable while I was doing something uncomfortable. Like
Yeah, that's really good.
it's like
Yeah.
they supported me the whole way through and still support us.
And we
so
said that
much.
if people don't have families like that, like find a community or support system that will encourage you and believe in you, because starting your own thing is scary.
Yeah, so
and
scary.
I had someone to look after and like kind of like guide me. But if you don't, like, have people who are like, you got this, like, what do you need, like even small business, how to start an LLC, and it's just like the smallest things. Like, don't be afraid to ask. All they can say is no. Like, I was asking Hallie on a coffee date after that one time, and I was like, it's totally fine if not, but like, would you mind meeting with me? And like, I had just some questions. She's like, absolutely. Like, she could have said no, but like, okay, a no's not gonna kill me. So I feel like it's just like getting out of your comfort zone. And
100%.
Being okay with being uncomfortable for sure, because there, to this day, sometimes we don't have a wedding in 1 month. And it's like, God, how am I gonna pay my bills? And that is something that we joke about. But
We do laugh about
funny,
it for some reason.
but we do. But it's like, we trust God full force.
With our finances.
He's going to provide for us.
He will provide,
And I know that God wants me doing photography, and for the longest time when I first started, I was so not confident in myself that maybe, is this what he wants me doing? And I would remember I would say all the time, like, oh, maybe I'll go get like a job. Like I would tell my sister Reagan, I'm like, can you like help me get a job, and maybe I want to do like sales or something. And I would just be devastated even thinking about doing something like that. But I was so like fearful that I wasn't gonna succeed or make money or do all the things. And it's like literally to this day, like this is my full-time job. I have no other source of income but weddings. And sometimes I don't have a wedding for a while, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make some money.
We'll figure it out.
But I trust that God is going to provide for me, and He'll put me in the right places, put me with the right people, and every time He has, He's never failed me. And it's okay to trust and believe in Him, that He's going to provide for you.
And going off of that, I think I struggled at first is being scared, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So like, I would get inquiries for weddings and I wouldn't respond. Be like, God, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just not going to respond, because then, and I sat there one day, I was actually in Texas visiting my now fiance, but I was like, if I don't open the doors, God can't either let me go through or shut them. So I was like, I have to respond. And if I book them, then it's God's plan for me. If I don't, well, that's okay too. Like, He has something else for me. So I started responding, and I would book one, because I think it's also what's scary is we book a year out.
So
it's
you're like, what am I doing?
What are you doing
in
March of 2026? That's really hard, and especially when I wasn't sure whether I was going to be in South Carolina or Texas. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was so scared to book a wedding, and then I'm like, okay, well then I'm out of pocket paying for flights and stuff. So it was just so stressful. I'm like, I just need to say, yes, I'm available. Let's figure out. And finally, I found peace in that, as if, even to this day, sometimes I get scared. I'm like, well, crap, what am I doing next year? Like, I don't know. And I think it's just nice to give it all to God and respond. And if we're meant to be booked, if we're not meant to be booked, like, that's up to Him.
He knows what you're doing.
Yes, He does.
Well, and we know what we're doing. I guess I'll be at your wedding in a year, you know? Like, when we do book people, but it's like being okay with that and saying, like, thank you, God, for this opportunity. I don't know what's going to happen in a year, but, like, at least I know this, and you're going to have me there. Like, getting to be a part of people's wedding days is so special. And I know He's given me the chance so many times to, like, show His love, like, through my gift of photography. Like, I know, like, the reason I take pictures is for Him. Like, that's been my biggest thing from the beginning. It's like, if I'm doing this for any other reason but to glorify God with it, then, like, that's when I know I'm done. When I can't do it anymore. And so the fact that He's just given me opportunity after opportunity to do that and to show His love and to get to encourage people on such a special day, like, because I fully believe that, like, marriage is from God, and He puts two people together. And my number one thing is, like, when I'm talking to a couple about potentially booking them, I always like, they're like, well, what do you like on a wedding day? And for some reason, I don't know why, I can be chill as possible. Like, it does not stress me out at all, which I know that's God. Like, He made me that way. But my number one thing is for the bride and groom to get to be present. And I'm like, I'm not going to be dragging you around all day, making you take pictures. Like, I'm going to capture the day as it happens. And I want you to look back and think, oh my gosh, remember how hard we laughed at dinner at our wedding?
Sweet.
Like, remember my photographer making me go up on a hill and take 50,000 photos? It's like, so, like, that's another thing. Like, when we are booking clients, I pray so much about like that God will bring me the right clients and who have the same mindset as me. Because if you want me to be capturing, every detail and want me posing you all day, then like maybe we're not the right fit for each other. That's another thing you have to be so real with yourself about, is not just accepting anyone and everything because you need money. Yeah. That's when the fun is gone. Like, your heart's not in it anymore. Because I did that in the beginning. I did that. I accepted wedding after wedding because I was like, yes, I'm making money. I need the income. And I was so drained. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even align with these people. Like, they don't even believe the same thing as me. And when I finally became like more selective in a good way, and it's like, do I feel like I align with this person? Do we believe the same things? Do I feel like we are a good fit? Yes. And even that, like, God has rewarded me so much. And like, being picky. Yeah. It's okay to be picky.
No, I love that. And just how you said, like, you believe, like, the Lord has called you to do this as, like, your profession is, like, I feel like anywhere can be your mission field. And a lot of people are like, you have to go and evangelize in like the church or be in the church body to do that. I'm like, no, you can go anywhere, and that's what he calls us to do. Like, we're all disciples of the Lord in every aspect of our life. So I think that's really special that one, you just get to like love on these people during their special moments, not even just weddings, other places that you shot to. Yeah. And two, like, you get to travel too. Like, that's so cool.
And we get to do it together a lot.
That's our favorite thing.
I feel like a lot of people, I have a section like on my website too, is like, book us together, because it's like you're getting a seamless day. Right. Like, we don't have to speak. Even our couple said that this week, and they're like, I bet y'all just work.
Yeah.
Like, we that's do. The thing. Like, she could look at me and I know what I need to be doing for her, and she does it for me, and it's just a seamless day of like, we're going to capture your day exactly how you want it, and our mindset's the same, and it's just fun because that's also relieves the stress from me. Like, at least this wedding's with Emma. Like, I don't have to worry about another photographer, and just finding the comfort in each other too.
Yeah, that takes out so much stress and worry for me too. Knowing it's with you, I'm like, I can fully relax. Like, because when there is another videographer there who I don't know, and I'm like, gosh, like, are their intentions the same as mine? Right. Because I've been at a wedding where people forget, like, the bride and groom hired us. They're paying me to capture their day. I'm not here to get content for me. I'm here to get content for them. And so I've been at a wedding where a videographer was like all about himself, and he's like, I gotta get this shot and this shot because I need to post it on my social media. And I'm like, I said, can you come back to reality? I literally said, this day is not about you. It's about our bride and groom. Like, please don't forget that. And I will bring someone back to reality in a heartbeat, because it's just important to me. Like, it matters to me that it's special for the bride and groom. So
we're big bride and groom advocates. We
we're
like, we need to say something. We'll handle it.
No, I actually, like, if there's a planner, if there's a family member, I'm like, just tell me what you need me to say, and I'll say it. I'll do it.
So funny. I love it. So if you're getting married and you're listening to this, reach out to Emma and Abbey.
Let me just make sure it's in focus. Okay, good. It looks
okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, I've just been loving hearing just about what you guys do now and how you grew up. I didn't know if you felt comfortable, you could maybe talk about both a little bit of your testimonies and how that's grown you to where you are now.
You want to go first?
You tell me.
They're kind of similar in a way, but when I was telling you this earlier, when I think about like my testimony, and there's people who have had such a hard life and have this great story from start to finish. But then we talked about there's seasons of your life that can be so beneficial for other people to hear about. And so a specific season of my life is when I was a junior in college. This is actually after I started my business and stuff, which is funny to think about what I was going through at the time that I did this. But I had a pretty hard roommate situation junior year, and I shared a bedroom with a girl, and we just ended up not being the same, not who each other thought we were. And I mean, it made me grow, and I look back and I was so immature and things like that, but it was such a hard time for me in my life. I became so anxious and so worried about everything. Like, I would call my mom crying, and I remember her saying to me, she said, Emma, like, what is wrong with you? You are a ball of nerves. And I did not know why a drop of a pin would make me cry. Like, I was just so anxious and so caught up in my emotions and so fearful of, like, what's wrong with me? Like, what's going on? And so that was, like, right before COVID happened. And then we went home, and it's like, was better because I was out of the roommate situation and I was in the comfort of my own home, but I still was slowly falling like deeper into a hole that like I didn't realize. Like I just really was like sleeping in really late and like wouldn't get out of bed for a while and wouldn't really go outside, and I just like wasn't like eating right and all the things, and it took a toll on like all the relationships around me. And even like we talked about it the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Like even my sisters like did not like me. Like they said I was a terror, a holy terror to be around.
Yes.
I just was mad all the time and I would explode, and I just had so many emotions that I did not know what was going on with me. And like we live in a world where like anxiety and depression is like anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
What? And so I had no idea like what all I was going through. And like I went through a few therapists and I tried to get better, and they weren't working for me. And then like we had a heart-to-heart one day.
A big powwow.
They like my two sisters came to my bedroom.
We had enough.
And they looked at me and said, listen, if you don't figure out what's wrong with you, then we're not talking to you anymore. And
That's so funny.
of course that started like we were fighting a lot. So that started another
Till 3
fight.
a.m.
Yeah, we went and woke my parents up because when we'll bring my parents into it if we can't settle it ourselves. So then my parents are listening and they're like, y'all got to figure it out. And
They were like this in bed. They were like,
really?
What is wrong with
Like,
y'all?
and so we just like, I guess we finally agreed that like I would try and chill out and get help or whatever, and things got better the rest of the summer. But then I went into my senior year at Clemson, and I was living with one of my very best friends, Sydney. Love her so much. She was also in that other roommate situation with me. She just had a room by herself.
Okay.
And so she was like walking through that with me, and you know things were okay. My classes were online, so I didn't really ever have to like leave my apartment. And I remember my mom and older sister coming to take me out to dinner. You remember they took us to the Esso Club?
Kind of.
Which I've never been there.
Really?
Really?
Oh my
I
gosh.
need to go.
Yeah.
Before you leave.
They took us like right when we moved into school because you were a freshman.
Oh, yes,
I was
yes.
a senior.
Was it my birthday?
I think it might have been. I don't know. It was near there. And I cried the whole dinner. And I mean sobbed. I absolutely sobbed. I could not figure out what was wrong with me. And Reagan, I had a really hard class at the time. And Reagan was like, listen, if school is hard, you just need to get a tutor. And I said, you think I'm this upset over school? Like, it was so much deeper than school.
Yeah,
I just was not happy.
Yeah.
And I did not want to be at school. I wanted to go home. I literally just could not figure it out. And that's when I went for like a checkup or something to the doctor. And my doctor, my pediatrician, at 21 years old, I was at my pediatrician, and she was like, so how are you doing? And I started crying. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And I was so just broken and so sad, and I did not know what was wrong with me. And that's when she was like, okay, have you thought about antidepressants? And I was like, no, I don't want to be on antidepressants. Right. And I was so worried because my roommate, Sydney, a friend from high school, had just went through something hard and had just started taking antidepressants and so tragically committed suicide. And that terrified me. I was like, he was on medicine. And I never had suicidal thoughts, but like just hearing about everyone, so many different experiences of antidepressants. I was like, this terrifies me. And she was like, no, like, trust me, I think it would be great for you. We'll start you off on a small dose. And I was just like, didn't know what else I could do to make me stop feeling the way I was feeling. And so I agreed, and I started taking medicine, and life got so much better. I did not cry every day. I wanted to go out and do things, and it truly, genuinely, the medicine helped me so much. But I went on it knowing that I didn't want to be on it forever.
Right.
And that was always hard for me because I would be in seasons where I felt like, oh, maybe I don't need to take it anymore. But then something would happen and I would stay on it. And it wasn't until this year, in June, that I quit taking my medicine completely.
That's amazing. And
you have to like wean yourself off it.
Okay.
You have to like take a smaller dose and then a smaller dose and a smaller dose. And like, so that's been like, when was that, 2020?
Yeah.
That's been 5 years that I was on
Wow.
medication, that it took me this long to get off of it. But I've been in therapy, and my walk with the Lord is so different than it was then.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because like June was like a stressful month, but but I knew that I was ready to come off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it being a stressful month, I was able to like practice everything that I learned about just like when I feel anxious, what I need to do, and like my like praying to God about the way I was feeling. And it was just the right time. I don't know how to describe it. So my testimony to be said about that is, if you're hesitant to like start taking medication, or you're in like a place where you feel like it's not going to get better, like it will get better.
Right.
It will get better. Taking medicine does not mean you failed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to take medication and have to stay on it forever, that's fine. You can stay on it forever if that's what works for you. It was just important to me to not, because I wanted to be completely like myself again. Because being on the medicine, like, you're not going to feel as many emotions, and like that's been hard to navigate. My having like my full emotions back, because like when I was on it, I never cried. I couldn't even like force out a tear.
Really?
Yeah, it was just crazy. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I cry again. Like I cry at a movie, or I cry if I'm getting my period and things like that. And I used to not. And so like having my emotions back has meant so much to me, because it's like, wow, I feel everything again. But I'm glad to be feeling all the things.
Yeah.
And so,
Inside Out.
Yes.
The second one.
Yeah. And so it's just funny. Like I don't blame anyone for a second for staying on medicine if they need it. And if you are on a journey where you're unsure about it and you want to try it but don't want to stay on it forever, you don't have to stay on it forever. Mm-hmm. You can try it. You can try different ones. I mean, it really worked well for me in the moment. And so I'm kind of an advocate for that.
That's very encouraging. Yeah. I'm just thinking about how you were like my leader, and I would never know that you were struggling with that.
Yes.
And it's just really cool too that like it's okay. Some people who are believers are so down on like anxiety and depression and don't think it's real, or like don't think therapy's gonna help, or medicine's gonna help, and like it will. Everyone's different too, but like it's definitely not something to like shy away from. So I really am like encouraged, and hopefully listeners are encouraged by that.
Yes, I hope so as well.
Yeah, so mine, COVID hit senior year of high school, and I didn't go off to college until later that September, which when we went completely secluded, I had spent the entire, like I think, however many months that was with Kason every single day. And then also my family, like we were stuck inside. And so whenever I went to college, like I loved my roommate, but also like we didn't know each other. And so not being able to go anywhere but in a room with her, it was like hard, because it's like I can't just breathe. Like I'm always having to like put on a face and stuff. And so once, like I was just crying literally all the time too. Like I remember like sitting in class one day when finally I got to go in person to one of them, and I got up and went to the bathroom because I just couldn't stop crying, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so I ended up finding a therapist, which honestly wasn't the best, but she did help me realize that my identity was so in Kason and my family that I didn't know who I was. And she was like take time to like figure out like what you want to do and things like that. And I was like, I don't know who I am without them. And so because he went to college at Charleston at this time. So, and I know we were only 45 minutes away from home, but it still felt like during COVID, like I couldn't go home because of the classes and stuff. So I struggled bad, hit a very bad anxiety and a little bit of depressive state, and I started that therapy, and it was getting better, but I really dove into God's word then, and I did move home second semester, which ultimately was the best decision for me. And I got so close with God that year, but I think it really hit home that I was putting my identity in everything but God. And given COVID was such a hard year for everyone that it didn't help the situation. But I am so thankful that did happen, and I'm such a big therapy advocate. I ended up like stopped going that freshman year, but put myself back in it junior year of college for like personal reasons, and I'm graduated from it now again, and I'm graduated too. It's so good. But I feel like whenever I was that first freshman year going through hard times, like I told Kason, I was like, I think I'm gonna get into therapy. Like I'm not doing okay. And he was like, therapy? Like, are you okay? Yeah. And I was like, it's not that scary. It's not that I'm okay. Right. But someone needs to help me work through my emotions right now. And so like, no matter what anyone's going through, and like I feel like our whole family has slowly gotten on the therapy train, because like my mom, she just started going last year too. And
just because how much we advocate for it, we're like, it is just life changing for someone to help you understand why you're thinking the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone should have to have therapy at this point.
But as Christians, it was important to me to find someone Christian
therapist,
because my second one was amazing. And I will say, people who hate it, you might have a bad therapist because we've been there.
And we've been through multiple.
We've
been through multiple.
I did therapy last year.
You didn't like it?
Wasn't good.
No, I loved it. Okay, I'm not trying to stomp on your tangent, but part of it was like I was like in a relationship, and I was like, I'm like, why am I feeling all these things? Like I should be happy, all this stuff. And so I remember telling my mom like I need therapy, and so I went to it. She was awesome. I also was dealing with a lot of anxiety over like fears of different things, and she helped me with that. But like, when we broke up, I was like, oh, I don't need it. I'm fine now.
Right.
So it was like that, but also like she showed me like maybe this is why you're feeling that way. Like you're in a bad relationship.
Right.
Anyway, so I need to like get back on it because it's amazing.
It is, and like I ended up getting back into it because I realized my past relationship was affecting my current one, and I said that I can't be my best self for you if I'm not like working on myself. And so like, I feel like whenever you should want to be your best self for your person.
And for everyone around you.
Family, friends, everyone involved. And it's a hard thing to hear when someone says you need therapy, because like we told our older sister that for so long.
It comes across the wrong way. It's like you need therapy.
But we just know that that's the best thing that would help.
Yeah, we say it out of a place of love. Like we know what it's done for us. Like we know it would work wonders for you.
And
too.
you're
like,
still
we want you free from these feelings too. So it's like it sucks to hear it.
Oh, and I would cry, and it really did suck to go through it. But I'm in such a better place now, and realize if anything did happen, I have a safe space to go back to and work out those feelings and stuff like that.
Even though we're graduated.
We like to say that.
We say graduated as in like you start going to therapy and you're like,
what are we talking about?
What are we talking about today? And she's like, like, I think you're doing really good. Do you want to be on like a calling basis, like where you can just text and say, hey, like I think I need an appointment, and she'll throw you back in her schedule. Like you won't get taken off of her appointment list, which is cool. And we don't have the same one. We have different ones, but like we've each been through a few until we found one we clicked with. Like my first few, I was like, I'm not coming back here. But then when I finally found like my therapist, like I love her so much. She understood me so well. She's faith-based. Like that was important to both of us. Like I want like scripture for why. For like my anxiety and things like that. Like I want to lean into God's word, and like I need to understand like what does God say about this? What does He say about me?
That's really
how I'm feeling. And so that was like our biggest thing.
What was like the biggest takeaway from, maybe it was different from both of y'all's like sessions, but like that like your therapist would tell you about for like with the Lord, like
with God?
Yeah, maybe a verse or maybe something like encouragement. I don't know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Hold on, because she would say something to me, and I'm trying to figure out how she would word it.
I really struggled with what other people thought of me.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really struggled with like being embarrassed about random things. Like it's like I didn't care. Well, really, I also went to therapy for like romantic relationships. I'm like, why do I like not like want? Like, why do I, when someone wants me, I don't want to be with them anymore? Like, why? So I had to figure all that out.
But they don't want me.
Yeah. But when they don't want me, that's when I'm all in. Yeah. I, like, had to figure that out. And I was like, I'm embarrassed to bring, like, a boy around and stuff like that. And so I clearly thought too much into, like, what people were thinking about me or, like, everyone's, like, perceived opinion. And she's like, like, something's only embarrassing if, like, you think it's embarrassing. And I was like, that's so valid. Yeah. And it was, like, that small piece of advice, like, reminded me that like it sounds dumb, but it only matters what God thinks of me. Like me and God, that's all I need. And if I'm staying true to myself and living the way God wants me to live, then like what other people think of me or say about me doesn't matter.
No, that's really
and I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I love it. I just read a thing today. It was like embarrassment's one of like the least studied feelings in like ever, and I'm like,
that's so interesting.
People, but it's like because people are scared to like talk about it, or talk about it, but I'm like, do it, like no one's judging.
We were just on a trip, and like we
were in France.
Like, it's only embarrassing if you say it's embarrassing.
That was our
like
it's only embarrassing if you say it's embarrassing, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not embarrassed. So.
Right.
There you go.
I think probably something that I took away, because mine was a relationship situation as well, is like when I'm having certain feelings is looking back into God's word, and like, because sometimes I'm questions like worldly views and lust and things like that, and you have to figure out like where's your bearings, and like always refer to the word, because like that's what I need to be like. It's always what's right. And if you ever question, is this person for me? Is this person, it's just like all those questions. It's like, okay, well, clearly God's telling me what it should be, and you're not listening. It's always you just need to revisit the word and just make sure that you're aligning your life with it. And so sometimes I forget
really
that.
Good. Yeah. Because,
you go ahead.
I was just saying, like we learn, I don't know if like your therapists have talked about this, but like truth isn't based off feelings, but our feelings are valued, you know, and like we learn from our feelings from the word, and it's just, it's a really cool
another thing about that is like how deceitful our emotions and like our feelings and our hearts are. It's like just because we feel one way or think one thing doesn't mean it's true. This is what God says. This is what he says about me. I've got to only believe this. And that's like made such a difference too, is reminding myself that like I actually have to physically remind myself like my thoughts aren't what's true. And it's like taking captive of every thought. You have to do that in order to like I don't know, live your life. I guess it's hard. Well, easier said than done.
And it's just like sometimes it's scary too, like how much the enemy could like talk to you. Your thoughts, and you're like,
he works overtime.
And if you aren't in the word, you're not going to know the truth from the right from the wrong.
100%. And another thing, like growing up being a very anxious person, scripture that I've like held on to the most, and it's funny because I don't have any tattoos or anything, but I would tattoo this verse across my back. Like, you know how people get their verses? I'm like, I would do this one. But in Matthew 6, and I think it's like 25 through like 34, but it's like the literal title of the passage is The Cure to Anxiety. And it's where God says, like, I feed the birds, and they nor reap nor sow, whatever. Like, how much more will I do for you? And, like, he makes sure the birds are fed. And I was like, gosh, like, he really does make sure the birds are fed. What more is he going to do for me? Like, he loves me way more than the birds. Like, he loves me so much more than a bird. And that has always brought me so much comfort for some reason. And that's what I go back to. If I'm anxious about anything, I will sit there and write it out. And, like, write it down on paper or speak it out loud. And I'm like, I've got to remind myself, like, this is true. This is the truth. This is what God says. And what God says is what's true. And I don't know, it helps me so much. So,
no, that's really good. Very good tips.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I would love to hear just like maybe one thing that the Lord is teaching you right now in just each of these seasons of y'all's lives.
Yeah.
I feel like mine would be to fully trust him. My fiance, before we were engaged, he moved all the way across to Texas, and I thought I was done with long distance, and we started that again, and that was really hard, especially in a season of what am I supposed to be doing. And like that was also freshly post-grad. So he moves across the country, and I don't know, am I supposed to be doing videography? What if I'm supposed to be in Texas? And trying to figure out, I feel like I'm so type A that I need it like written down. All right, this is what I'm doing. This is when I'm doing it. And finally, like letting go of my calendar and surrendering that to God has been a huge thing. Is though we might not know a lot of the times that it's clearly going to work out like the way it's supposed to, and I feel like you can never walk down or walk in a wrong door. I prayed about it for a long time with my job, and I took the door I thought God was telling me to, and he still closed it. Even though it was open, he closed it again and said, the wrong one, let's go on the other one. Okay, really confused, but let's do it.
But it's God redirects you every single time.
It gives me so much hope, and no matter what I'm doing in my life, like even if I pick the wrong door, he's still going to redirect me into the right one. And so it's just very encouraging. And
so it's like you can't even pick the wrong door.
No, you can't. It's just full on trust, and especially in a season where we don't know when we're getting booked and things like that, and I'm about to get married. It's just full on like trusting him. And I'm getting married, so I'm doing marriage counseling, so I'm learning a lot about a husband and the way I'm supposed to be as a wife. And I think my life will change a lot in the next month, and putting priorities in a different direction. But I'm excited to just grow into the Christian life I hope to be in this next season.
That's really sweet.
That's good.
It's really good.
I think, so what God's been teaching me I just look at this summer. This summer has been very character building, I would say. Just no matter how bad I want to be in control of things and think that I know like what's going to happen next, it's like I have no idea, and I've got to surrender this to God.
Yeah.
So like what has been so crazy is learning that you can say you surrender something to God, but like I actually have to get up and surrender it each day, every single day, over and over again. And God has taught me that, you know, sometimes you have to do really hard things that you don't want to do, but I so clearly like felt God telling me like this is what you have to do. So like being obedient, and I've learned that like saying yes to God, it doesn't have to be fearless. Like you can be scared, but you can be faithful at the same time.
Yeah.
Like we're human, we're gonna of course feel our human emotions, and so that's my biggest thing is like He's going to reward you for being obedient and living according to His will and letting go and surrendering and just trusting in Him completely that He's going to provide for you and, you know, give you the desires of your heart, and if not, remove those desires from you. Like, He's so good. And I'm going on a tangent, but I've also felt like I've been reading Gentle and Lowly, the book, and I haven't finished it, but learning about Jesus's heart, I feel like a lot of people always think God is so big and scary, and Jesus is so scary and so judgmental, but it's like, no, He's gentle and lowly. Like, think of the sweetest, nicest, loving person you've ever met, and like times it by 1,000,000, and that's Jesus and how He feels about you, and just knowing that He does want good for me. Like, He wants me to be happy, and He, you know, sees me when I cry, and He weeps with me, and all the things. It's just like being obedient to God is hard, but it's worth it, and you'll be rewarded for it. So
Y'all are so wise.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, you really are.
No.
I just think it's been really sweet to like seeing y'all walk through these seasons like right now as we're talking about this, and like I know like one day you'll get to come back and talk more advice from after you've already walked through it, but it's just really sweet to see how encouraged you are by the Lord as you're going through these things right now. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, they've been really big role models to me. I didn't mention this earlier, but Emma actually you took all my photos for my 1 year podcast.
I did.
Those were
So that was really sweet. And you guys have even just through social media, I still look up to y'all. Like I aspire to live like you guys.
Oh my God, sweet.
But yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and I'm gonna link y'all's socials down in our podcast in the Apple Music and Spotify little bio. And then if y'all want to book with them, you should. I'll tag the photography and videography accounts too.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.